Get ready for success. Leadership Strategies for Women is a show dedicated to providing practical and valuable strategies for emerging women leaders of today. It's your time to get inspired, motivated, and challenged to achieve your vision for success. And now, here's leadership speaker and coach, Ellie Nieves.
Hello, this is the Leadership Strategies for Women podcast, and I'm your host, Ellie Nieves. I'm the founder and president of Leadership Strategies for Women, where I develop seminars and webinars to help women show up, speak up, and step up in their careers. I also coach women who want to achieve more both personally and professionally. To learn more, please visit my website at leadershipstrategiesforwomen.com, or you can follow the Leadership Strategies for Women page on Facebook. Our guest is Cheryl Sanchez. Cheryl is a single mom in her 40s who has faced some challenging times. Yet, despite the many hardships, she is able to keep moving forward while celebrating life successes no matter how small and striving to enjoy all the journey has to offer. Cheryl is also an entrepreneur, a speaker, and the author of the book, The Journey of Success. Cheryl is the founder and CEO of the Networks organization and currently the executive director of the Yorktown Small Business Association in Yorktown, New York. Cheryl has a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and an MBA from Fordham University. Cheryl, welcome to our podcast.
Hi, Ellie. Thank you so much for having me today.
So I'm excited about the conversation we're about to have, and I would just love for us to get started by having you share a little bit about your background.
Well, from where I've been in my life has been kind of all over the place. My parents divorced when I was young, and I grew up in a bunch of different places, living with my mom some of the time and my dad the rest of the time. So I got to see a lot of different places, and I lived in Westchester, Connecticut, the Bronx, and I moved to Yorktown when my daughter was around the age of starting middle school. So I've been in Yorktown now for over 15 years. In terms of my education, I went to the Bronx High School of Science, which is a phenomenal school, but I didn't follow the traditional college path that most others did because I moved out on my own a few weeks after my graduation. So I worked and went to school, and I also had my daughter at a really young age. And then I was able to graduate with the undergrad degree when I was around 30, and I went for my MBA about 10 years later. And right now I am currently living with my daughter and a bunch of mostly rescue pets, dogs, cats, fish, and a chameleon in Yorktown.
Thank you so much for sharing that about you, because I think that one of the things we always forget is that our bios don't necessarily define us, but our life experiences do. So the fact that you've shared so much about your history really does add a lot of color and flavor to who you are as a person, and we are very honored to be able to have this conversation with you. So thank you for sharing that, Cheryl.
You're welcome.
So tell me when and why you launched your organization, The Networks.
In the mid-2000s, I was looking to make some extra money by doing some consulting work. And I had always kind of had more than one job, but I was looking to kind of do something more formal, maybe start my own business. And I started to attend networking events for the first time to try to meet people and to build that business. And I quickly realized that there weren't that many options available that fit what I wanted to do. Most of the organizations that did exist at that time were really expensive to join. It was expensive to participate in the events that they did, whether as a guest or as a vendor or somebody else participating. It was just a huge investment. And many of their members were also big business like banks or brick and mortar local businesses. So it wasn't really something that was a good fit for what I was looking for. And at that time, B&I was one of the only options, and I didn't really find that to be a good fit either. So I felt that there needed to be resources for people like me, solopreneurs, people that didn't have much money to invest, moms trying to make extra money with a part-time job or side hustle. So I started the networks in 2006, and although it has changed over the years, it has always retained that key focus on entrepreneurs and small business.
That's such a great example of how when there aren't any resources to meet our needs, that one of the best things we can do is to launch our own initiatives to really serve a sector of the population that's not being served. And it seems like you really struck a note and a chord with launching the Networks organization. Have you found much success, and what are you hearing from the people that are becoming members of the networks?
I think that the biggest thing is that it's genuine and it fits what so many people out there really, really need. So there have been so many relationships that have started throughout the many years that the networks has been in existence. And it's just wonderful to even to this day hear people say, oh, I met at the networks event, or I started my business around the time that the network started, and I was able to meet so many people and grow my business just from networking and establishing relationships. And it didn't really cost them a lot of money.
Well, congratulations on being able to support so many people that need additional resources to get their businesses started. So you also recently wrote a book titled The Journey to Success, Even When Success is Just Getting Out of Bed. Can you share what the book is about?
Sure, and I definitely stress the importance of that subtitle, even when success is just getting out of bed. The idea of the whole journey of success came to me when I was doing presentations at events that I was doing through the networks, and we were doing things called the Journey of Success Conference. And I wanted to talk to people and motivate them and help them to realize that just by trying to have a business or start a side gig or solve a problem or whatever it was that they were trying to do, they were already successful because they were trying. So it didn't matter if you made $1 million or became famous or were the next Steve Jobs or Zuckerberg. It was that you were already successful just because you decided there was a problem or you decided that you wanted to do something more, and then you actually took steps to make it happen. So after I started these conferences, my life kind of took a nosedive and became really difficult due to some traumatic events. And I couldn't work. I couldn't be a business owner. I couldn't pay any attention to the networks. And I lost a lot during that time. And sometimes just getting out of bed was literally all I could accomplish. And as I started to recover, I realized that my ideas about success weren't just about business. They were about life.
That's very powerful. And what do you want your readers to take away from the book?
I think the most important message is to realize that they are already successful now. Life is short, and it can change in a moment. So I really want people to realize the importance of that, and don't waste time waiting to celebrate until you have money or buy a house or whatever else is on that to-do list of accomplishments that we always have. Don't wait before you enjoy life. Realize that you're already successful now and celebrate that you are living, celebrate the successes of daily life. Drink the good champagne. I know that's like a saying that a lot of people say, but it's true. Drink the good champagne. Use your good purse all the time. Don't just keep it in the closet for a good occasion. And I think it's important to also pass that message along to others, especially those that might be struggling.
I love that message, and it reinforces the theme that we often use, which is smell the roses while you're on your journey, because we don't know when we're going to arrive, but there are so many blessings and so many great opportunities that we can be celebrating along the way and in that journey. So, Cheryl, what advice would you have for women leaders who are facing challenges in their personal lives?
I think the most important advice that I can take from my experiences that I've been through is to give yourself a break, mentally and physically. Women especially try to do everything. We're usually the caretakers in our families, and we have never-ending to-do lists. We carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. And when things were at a really bad point for me, I finally realized the truth of that airplane advice, that's to put the oxygen mask on yourself before helping others. I never realized the importance of that before. And when I was going through all of that and trying to help everybody else out, I realized that I really had nothing left for myself, and I was not of any use to anyone if I didn't take time to focus on myself. So I think it's really important to take care of ourselves, make ourselves a priority. That's your physical health, your emotional health, to give yourself a break. And even if that means you spend a day doing absolutely nothing except smelling the roses, then that's exactly what you should do. And don't feel guilty about it.
That's great. Just a great reminder that we need to keep our well-being top of mind and on top of the priority list.
Exactly.
So, Cheryl, what's next for you personally?
I'm working on rebuilding my business. When things weren't good, I lost a lot of pieces of my business. So I'm focused on getting it back to at least where it was before and then growing it from there. And I'm also working on sharing the message from the book through speaking engagements and events and partnering with other like-minded organizations because I really think it's an important message for people to hear.
Fabulous. And how can our listeners get in touch with you?
My website is a great resource. It has a lot of information about me and contact information. And the website is cherylsdomain.com. That's CHERYLS domain.com. And I'm also all over social media, and you might just find me out networking too because I'm always out there networking.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. We really do appreciate that you joined us today, and thank you for your message. It's been very inspiring. And thank you for just a reminder that, again, we need to prioritize our well-being and that even if we have to take a break from initiatives that we're launching, as long as our well-being is intact and our priority, we can always go back and rebuild.
Exactly. And thank you so much for the opportunity to share my story with others.
Thank you, Cheryl. And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, God bless.